How lucky are you to have this wonderful minister as your minister? You are blessed. You are blessed, and you know that. So did you wake up this morning and say, I love my life? Did you walk to the mirror in the morning? Did you get up and you walked to the mirror and you went, oh my God, did you get more beautiful overnight? What is the deal? Look at this body. Did you do that? Did you go, oh my God, everything's dropping, what's happening? So the song that I just sang, every day we have a choice of how we're going to live. And it's that choice that determines our day. That choice of how we're going to live, if we're going to be in gratitude. If we're going to be in gratitude, are we going to be judgmental? Are we going to live in anger? What are we going to do? It's our choice. And so I realize how important that choice is by the very first thing your little brain thinks when you first wake up. And I know that the power of music is so important to guide that. So a lot of my chants that I write, as I said last night at my concert, you get to see what all my issues are because this is what I write about. But the chants that I write, all of my songs, all of my albums start with the very first song being something positive, that when you wake up, you're going to hear, thank you for this day, Spirit, or I'm a blessing to the world, or whatever. It's going to be something that's going to set your mind in that place of going, yes, I am this divine creature of God, and I am worthy and meant to be here. And I learned a long time ago, I was at a hotel, and I learned the power of music and how that just can be this little thought that comes in your mind when it's not positive. I had Linda Ronstadt wake me up one morning with, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. And then she says, I'm gonna say it again, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good. And so she says this to me, and so what do you think goes in my mind all day long? Everything I'm trying to do during the day. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. That little voice, does everyone have that little voice, or is it just me? So you have to turn it around. You have to flip it and say, I'm so good. You have to declare that every day because, you know, the truth is the world is constantly coming at us saying, you know what? You're not good enough, but if you have this car, or if you have this makeup, if you buy this makeup, or if you get these clothes, then you'll be okay. Then you'll be okay. And we need to say stop in the name of love to that. In the love of myself, stop. Do you know, okay, so this is great. So do y'all have an iPhone? You know Siri on your iPhone? So one day Siri got me, I was using her as a GPS, and she got me to where I was going. And I said, Siri, you're fabulous. Do you know what she said to me? She said, three things. She goes, wow, really? I went, no, Siri, you're really fabulous. She says, I'm only doing my job. But then I say, Siri, no, you're really fabulous. And she says, I'm good, but I'm not great. That's in your phone. I'm good, but I'm not great. I mean, even Siri can't go, yeah, you're right, thanks so much. So I want you to practice something. When you have that voice come in or anything come in that's saying you are not worthy, I want you to practice this. Back off, okay? Everyone do it with me. Do it with me. Back off. Got to get a little bit more of an attitude in the snap. Okay, let's try it one more time. Back off. There you go. That's very good. Because the truth is, it's just constantly coming at us. And we need to do that so that we can stay in touch with our hearts. Because our heart is the most important part of our being. And years ago, I was part of a little theater troupe. And we would go around to all these different pediatric hospitals in my area, in the Bay Area. And the character that I played in this little show was called Dr. Heart. And I had a heart smock and heart earrings and heart hat and heart everything. And we'd go into these pediatric rooms, and all the kids were hooked up to all these IVs, and they just looked so sick. And my job in this show was with my little stethoscope. I'd go up to each person, I'd go, what does your heart have to say? heart have to say? And these little lammy poos would look up at me and go, oh, my heart's so sad because I want to go out and play. And my heart's so sad because my parents are so worried. But I gave them the opportunity to just stop and say, what does my heart have to say? And have that space that their parents weren't there and their doctor wasn't there, that they could speak from their heart. And I truly believe when we talk about gratitude, gratitude is getting in touch with your heart. If the only thing you get from my talk today is this spiritual practice of every morning, before you do anything, you just put your hand on your heart and you say, what does my heart have to say today? And you let it come up. Now, sometimes what comes up is, that meeting this afternoon, not so much. I don't want to do that. And that might be uncomfortable. You might have to say no to things when your heart is saying, this is what I want. There might be times when you say, I'm seeing that that's what I need to say, but I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm just not ready. But I at least acknowledge it. I have a song that I sing at all my women's retreats. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. If anything, that is what we need so much right now, is that we are gentle with our hearts and that we allow ourselves to take the time to know when it is time to move and grow and do something, and other times to say, you know what? I'm just a little scared right now. I can't do this. But you just give yourself that break. The bridge of that song says, I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part feels safe. So there are times when you might want to reach out, but you just don't feel you're there yet. That's okay. But checking in with your heart to just say, what does my heart have to say? What is mine to do today? What is mine to do? How can I give my love? Because, I think truly gratitude will heal this world. Because when we're grateful, when we start from that place of being grateful and present, we see each other. We can physically see each other and we can feel each other. And to me, presence is what it's all about. It starts with presence, and that's what my practice is to say, what does my heart have to say? And when you're present, it's like gratitude is all around. So one of the things that I do for fun is I'm an open water long distance swimmer. Yes, wasn't that fun? Let's all go in the cold water. Yes. And this month I celebrate my 30-year anniversary of being on the first American women's relay team to swim the English Channel. But I belong to a club in San Francisco called the Dolphin Club, and I've been doing races there for years and years, and there's this guy named George who every single time we're going to do a race, he comes up to me and goes, I'm going to get you on this one, Drucker. And I went, no, George, I'm going to get you. And we have this little thing. And so we do this with every race. And every time we do a swim, there'd be 50, 75 people. Here's George. And we're battling it out, and we're just, we're trying to get to the end, and we're putting our heads down, and we're swimming really fast. Then all of a sudden, I stop and look on one of my breaths, and he's not there. And I take a few more breaths, and I think, am I beating him that much? But then I look, and I see that George is back here doing water ballet. He's like doing this in the water. And I swim back to him, and I go, George, what are you doing? We're in a race here. And he goes, Karen, when are we ever in this magnificent place underneath the Golden Gate Bridge? Why would we put our heads down and try and get to the other side as fast as we can? And I went, you're right. And I started doing water ballet with him. And then all of a sudden, all these other people came up and they said, what are you doing? And they said, we're doing water ballet. Why don't you join us? Look at the fog. Look at the seagulls. It's beautiful. They were like, no, we can beat you. But to me, when we can take that time to be present, after that day, I went, you are right. I'm underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm going to love this. And every time, I'm happiest if I'm way in the back of the pack and I look around. I'm going to swim Alcatraz in a few weeks, and I'm going to stop and breathe and look around, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? So I was in the coveted A position in Southwest Airlines. And, I don't know about you, but I've completely noticed when I travel that nobody talks to each other anymore. You notice this? It's like everyone's on their devices the whole time. It's so funny when I crack up when I sit down and someone is coming to sit down next to me in the plane, and I just say, hi, how are you? And they look at me like, you can just see the terror go over their faces like, oh my God, if I say hello to you, you might be a talker. And I want to say to them, I'm just saying hello, it's okay. But anyway, I'm in the coveted A position, and I'm looking around, and I'm just noticing how everyone's on their devices and no one's looking. Actually, I've got to share this one with you. So I found this thing. In the not too distant future, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook will merge to form one giant, idiotic, supersized, time-wasting, non-productive, time-stealing, mind-numbing, do-not-need-to-know website called YouTwitFace. I have nothing against devices, but it bugs me because it's making it that we don't talk to each other anymore. We don't just say, oh, hi, how you doing, where are you going? So in this particular moment, I'm noticing everyone's on their devices, but I start every day when I travel especially to say, what does my heart have to say? And a lot of times it's just be present to who's around you. Just be open to who's around you. And so in this particular case, I see this situation, and it just immediately tugged at my heart because I've been there. There was a guy that was obviously taking his mother, older mother, and she looked like she had a little dementia or something going on. And he was taking her to gate, obviously to leave her there with the flight attendant. And so I noticed this, and I noticed how worried he was. And I could feel his anxiety. And as he left, he kept looking back at her, to make sure it was okay. And somehow he must have felt my energy because I just said, it's okay, I'll watch her. And he just went, oh, thank you. And he left. So now we get to our destination, and I'm walking up. I always call it a gangplank. It's the jetway. So I'm walking up the jetway, and I see that she's at the top of the jetway looking very confused, like she doesn't know where to go, and obviously her person couldn't come in and get her through security. So I go up to her and I say, hi, my name's Karen. Can I take you to the person who's picking you up? And she looks at me and she goes, oh, Karen, you look fabulous. Have you lost weight? Yeah, sure, whatever you say. So now I walk her to the destination. I see the same situation happening over here. But here's the other brother, obviously picking her up, and he's looking really anxious, and I kind of motion that I have her. And so I hand her off, and she says, so are you going to spend the weekend with us and have dinner tonight? And the brother's looking at me like, who are you? But I realize in that moment, that's my gratitude. That's my heart opening. It's not a huge thing. It's just the smallest thing of being present enough to look around and see people and give thanks. I have these friends, they're older, and the guy had a little bit of a heart condition a while ago, and the wife every morning would get so upset with him because he would make his bagel, and there would be bagel crumbs everywhere. And she would go, Jerry, how many times do I have to tell you, can you just take the sponge and just wipe up the bagel crumbs so when I wake up in the morning, the kitchen isn't filthy, just that's all I ask. Every morning she would do this. Every morning she'd start her day getting frustrated. And one day, she went in there, she felt the anger come up, and in that moment, like that, she said, wow, there are bagel crumbs there. if he wasn't here, there wouldn't be any. If he wasn't here anymore, there would be no more bagel crumbs. And in that moment, she blessed those bagel crumbs. And so every morning she just says, thank you. Thank you for my life. Thank you for letting him be here. Thank you for the love I have. So the ultimate gratitude story I'd love to share with you this morning is about our bodies. Because I don't know about you, but I can look in the mirror and just have so much judgment. And this isn't good enough, and that's not good enough. But I have a friend named Evie. And Evie, her story just made me change. And Evie was born with polio, and she always hated her body. Just hated her body. It didn't work right. She was overweight. She always felt less than. She hated her body. But she became a nurse because she felt like, you know, I can have compassion for other people's bodies, and that's how she lived her life. But at a certain point, Evie was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And she knew what this was going to be because, given her training, she had been there with other people, and she knew what was going to happen. And in her diagnosis, and realizing how much time she had left, she said, I am not going to my grave hating my body the way I always have. If I do one thing right before I leave, it's I'm going to love myself. I'm going to love my body. So she did an exercise every day. She would stand in front of the mirror naked and look at her body and try and come up with things that she liked about her body. And this was an exercise she was going to do every day. And so when she first started, the list was so long of everything she hated. Just list, just over and over. But eventually there was a small shift. And she started to look at her body and say, oh, you know, I've always gotten compliments on my hair. And wow, my hands are, what a miracle, my hands work. And very slowly, that list started to change. And she was in a wheelchair at this point, naked, doing this every day, rolling in front of the mirror. But eventually that list shifted to the point of saying, wow, look at the gift that my body is. This is amazing. And she started to love herself. And she loved herself so much that that list grew huge. And the gratitude that she practiced every single day for herself was so intense that she reversed her ALS. And she is one of a handful of people, I think there's only like 5 or 6 people, who have reversed ALS. And she became so empowered with the idea of gratitude that she decided to switch careers and became a minister. And just decided that she wanted to preach gratitude. That's it. Just preach gratitude. And so now she's working on a book. Her name is Evie McDonald. And I was very fortunate. I was on a conference, and they said, oh, this woman's going to do a little talk. Can you go over and do some music for her? And it turned out it was Evie McDonald. And so we became friends, and I wrote a song called I Look Good, just for her. But here's the thing. Gratitude starts with our hearts being open to ourselves, to really look in that mirror and say, I am a gift. Who I am is a gift. Because when we really embody that, we see the gift in everyone else. I mean, for those of you who were there at my show last night, you are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. We see that. Go ahead, you can start. We see that gift. We see that face of God when we see it first in ourselves. When we give thanks for who we are. When we know the gift of who we are. I am a gift, no matter what age. No matter how I look, there's beauty in each stage. I am a gift, and I promise every day that when I look in the mirror, I'll say that I am a gift. Can you sing that line with me? Just say, I am a gift. And I am a gift. I've loved really well. And every year I've lived has a different tale to tell. I've made mistakes and I have some regrets. But I promise I'll never forget that I am a gift. Sing that line with me. Just say, I am a gift. And there may be times when I forget the truth about me. When it seems time and youth, they're just marching on without me. Well, that's when I might need you to find me and ever so gently remind me that I am a gift, God's precious child. I was put here on this earth, but only for a while. So I make this vow, and I say it with love, that I am perfect and whole and enough, and I am a gift. Sing that line with me. Just say, I am a gift. If you feel comfortable, tell someone you are a gift. You are a gift. Tell someone else, they might need to hear it this morning. You are a gift. Let's declare it for all of us and say, we are a gift. We are a gift. Look around the room at your tribe here and say, we are a gift. Would you do something radical with me for a second? Say that again. We are, put your hand on the person, on their shoulder. Just touch the person next to you. We are a, because you know, part of the thing of being grateful and allowing that connection to happen is just this. Looking around, having that connection, saying, we are a gift. Say, I am a gift again. Say, I am a gift. So repeat after me. I am perfect, whole, and complete. I am. There is nothing I need to change. I live my life in gratitude for me, for everyone I meet, because the truth about me is I'm fabulous. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.